Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for Resident Evil Extinction, also known as Resident Evil 3. So, as always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. To start off, furry, birds. Lots and lots of birds. Ravens or crows, I don't remember the difference, but ravens or crows, and a fuck ton of them. And that's kind of about it, because as you might imagine from the title, Extinction, not a lot of animals in this already. And plus, zombies, depending on what you count. So moving on to the good and bad. So, the good, as always, Mila Jovovich, always a win. Oded Fair, I love that he survived the first movie that he was in, so the second movie. I love that he survived that, and he's in this one. They also have Claire Redfield, a.k.a. Ali Larder, and you might remember her from the Final Destination and the Heroes TV show. So, I think she's fantastic, and I'm glad that she's in this. And from my understanding, Claire Redfield is one of the video game characters, but I don't care. They got rid of Blue Outfit Chick from the second one, and now have Claire Redfield in it. Cool. She's a badass, so I totally buy her being in charge of this convoy. Totally buy it, and I enjoyed that. I also really liked that the black dude from the first one who was like, "Bitches, please," and showed off his custom ones. I'm so glad that he was in this one too. I liked his character in this one, in the other one, and I liked his character in this one. It's a fun time, and I'm glad that his character had the interactions that he had. So good for him. And what I will say is, hopefully you already realized this from the first two movies. Links for my reviews in the description down below. But for the first two movies, the end stinger set up the third movie, right? So each movie sets up the first one set up the stinger for the second one set up the stinger for this one set up the stinger for the fourth one. And what I will say is that this is the first movie that kind of starts the trend of being like, yeah, we'll acknowledge that stinger happened and we have to deal with the consequences. But it's sort of like at the end of whatever season of Star Trek Next Generation where, Patrick Stewart turns and he's like, I'm the cutest of Borg, and he's like a Borg, and they're like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? And then it's the season finale, and then the next season starts, and they're like, blue, but okay, we got it back in under 10 minutes, cool, so now we're gonna run away. Great, we got it back, we fixed that, we solved that. That thing that was definitely super impossible to solve, we solved in 10 minutes to get it back. Yeah, cool. Okay, moving on to the rest of the show. So in this one, starts kind of the trend of yeah, we're gonna acknowledge that happened, and it does affect things in this movie, but they are yeah, we're going to just do a completely different story than what you would think from that. We're not taking off 5 minutes after the end of movie 2. And I'm just going to say that you can expect that movie 4 is also going to kind of, not ignore, but quickly solve the problem of the third one. So, anywho, all that being said, this one has a very Mad Max feel to it. I'm not the biggest fan of the Mel Gibson Mad Maxes, for various reasons. But point being is that this had that Mad Max feel before the Mad Max Fury Road thing came out, which turned it up to 11. So before Mad Max Fury Road was turned it up to 11, I felt like this kind of turned things up to 11. It was really fun seeing Alice with the powers that she had, how she used them, how they affected her, how they were used or not used against her, that kind of thing. And I really enjoyed the interactions with the characters, and there was things that was okay, of course, that initial thing was going to be a trap or whatever, but it was a great way to set up and show what a BAMF she is. And, she just has so many BAMF moments, along with Oded Fair. He also is a BAMF, and I just really liked the character interactions in this. Now, was there some things that, really kind of stretched the imagination of, is that really what you would do? Is that really what this person would do? Is that really the amount of total lack of planning they would have, and how they're going to treat this, that, or the other asset that they find so important? Sure, but this is the Umbrella Corp that we're talking about, and this is kind of the Rule of Cool movie series that we're talking about. So, yeah, some things don't make sense in order to push things along. But if it hasn't bothered you enough to stop watching from the first two, this one doesn't have egregious enough examples to make you stop watching them from this movie. So I think that this movie is along the same lines of having to kind of stretch the believability of some decision-making people in order to make the storyline work. But I especially like the opening of what's going on here, and just how they set that up. It was a fun thing, fun stinger, and yeah, fun times. So I definitely recommend this one. I think this one may have been my favorite out of all of them. There's a couple of scenes from the other movies that are my favorite scenes. But in terms of overall movie, I think I liked this one best because of just the outfits, the characters, the like how they were killing zombies and all of that. Like I think overall the package of this one was my favorite because you have had the history of the first two, and I think this is a good culmination point for that before we really get into like I think much heavier in the video game adaptation realm, like sticking I guess towards the video games, which I've never played, and I've always felt that a movie should stand on its own without a video game, and I definitely feel that with this one, it stands fine without video game stuff. So, a lot of fun in this one. 2 thumbs up. Keep watching them. That's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye!